He's whiny.
Yeah, like he sounds like such a bitch. That's funny. That's lit, though. We should let's incorporate our guests because we
totally mogged him out.
Yeah,
the classic version.
My roommates have been coming in and out, so I don't want them to like say something and dox me accidentally.
Oh, fair. Yeah. We're doing that.
Well, we can cut anything out. It doesn't really matter.
That's true. Yeah. We don't just put this right up. We do the classic version, Lucas. Oh, we have a guest here, and an hour and a half in, we let them talk.
Yeah. We did this last episode too. I guess we just sort of
we do this with every guest.
Connection, yeah.
Except for Samara, she's the only one that like inserts herself.
Yeah, Samara like forcefully broke her way into the conversation, and then we had Half, who sort of sat there in the background. You know, a lot of reports that he made people feel uncomfortable. Right, he made them unnerved. They were feeling a little bit on edge. So we're hoping that we're going to bring in Atavism as a guest here, and they're going to feel a little happier, more comfortable, maybe.
Of course.
Yeah. Adam is a very amiable guy. He's a very he makes us feel warm and fuzzy. I'm sure he's going to get everyone else.
It's something to do with the earnestness and the tone of voice, right? Half has this tonality where it just makes you feel that everything being said is totally insincere and sarcastic.
Yeah, and definitely, because I listened to the last one.
Yeah, I was like, I was doing my best to like not appear too insecure in response to anything that he was saying, because like it was like, does he mean this? Is he really? I was just like, don't let it bother you, Lucas. Just keep trying. Keep going.
We are earnest podcast because we're too old now to be cool and ironic. Is that I've lost that ability.
Yeah, we've burned out. Dude, I actually met Half in Tokyo too.
Yeah?
Yeah, really bizarre experience. We all thought he was fucking with us. We all thought that he wasn't actually coming because he would do this thing where he'd be like, guys. Well, first off, it was like we had been there for like a week, and like he had been like posting pictures of Japan and stuff, and doing like sending all these updates to everyone in the Discord, and like he had never once like asked the Ramelia guys to like he hadn't stopped by the Ramelia house, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he was the only like Ramelia person who just hadn't
shown up.
Yeah, hadn't even made like an attempt to like contact us really. And then one night we started talking about like, dude, like, yeah, like I'm in this area, like we'll send an Uber out to get you. And we started talking back and forth, and he kept like saying, oh, I'm here, or now I'm here, and his location kept changing, and he was like, oh, I'm by the McDonald's, and it's like, which McDonald's? And he was saying all this stuff that made me assume this guy is like 100% fucking with us. Like he's not even in Japan. This is totally, and then we were calling him, and then at some point there was like a siren that went off, and it sounded like an American ambulance instead of like a Japanese ambulance. So we started doing like ambulance siren physiognomy on all this shit, right? So I was like, guys, like stop fucking wasting your time trying to meet up with Half. Like he's fucking with you. He does this all the time, right? Like he's just trolling. This is a meme. He did not come to Japan. The guy gave him the money to fly down here. He took it. He put it towards his tuition or something. And he's just like dicking with you. We're here for a limited amount of time in Japan. Stop spending 3 hours a day trying to hang out with Half. He's not even real, dude. Like he's not he's not a person, right? And then like after we had this happen when we came back from Kyoto, and just fucking everything. Trying to meet up with him was so impossible. We were asking for his location. He was giving us these landmarks that didn't make any sense. He was saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm outside like this hotel," and then we would look it up, and there's like 5 of them in Tokyo, and then like right when I'm ready to like go to bed, like I'm like fucking done. It's been a long week for Lucas. He's ready to go to bed. I hear the door open to the Ramelia Hype House, and I hear Half, and then he comes in, and I was like, I'm not. Like, I'm not. And I just put my head down again, and I just went to bed. And then the next morning when I woke up, I was like trying to pack up in like 30 minutes because I realized like, oh fuck, like I have to catch a flight to Korea in like an hour. Like we have to go. And so I'm like speed running the packing up thing, and everyone's like, dude, do you want to like say hey to Half? And I'm like, dude, like fuck off. Like Half isn't real. Like, this isn't. And my goal at this point, like I sort of knew from the night before that he was real, but I wanted to make it like an ongoing thing that like I wanted to like leave without seeing him so that I could continue this joke of them being like, no dude, Lukas, like we promise he showed up like right when you slept, like right before you left, dude, like Half
fucking liars.
And I was gonna be like, yeah dude, totally, like that's a really real and believable situation. I'm sure he showed up. But no, unfortunately, I had to go step over everyone to get to the shower, and that was when I was forced to acknowledge that Half actually does exist, and my funny meme prank could not continue.
He is a real person.
He is a real person, actually, yeah.
I did meet the only person who did see us both back to back. Mine son.
Yep.
He went to Japan and came back, and then he came to Austin.
He was actually the one who recognized me based on the Towel Boy comment.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. And he was in my apartment like the other day. Yeah, he's probably the only person who did the back-to-back Verse and Lukas IRL meetup.
That's super funny, powerful. Yeah. Especially going like Tokyo to Consensus is like
that's a weird trip.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, he's a little bizarre. He's cool too. I think he lives in Texas, so that's why he's able to pull it off. But he doesn't live in Austin. He lives somewhere in Texas.
I think he was staying in like a capsule hotel in Tokyo or something like that. That's
hell yeah. He's a tall dude. I wouldn't live. I don't know if I could do a capsule hotel.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
big,
like,
dude.
Well, the other thing is Japan just like, I mean, even on the train, like I'd be looking around and I would be like, dude, like I am a giant among these people. I am a
bound to be.
Yeah, like I've never been like, holy shit, like I'm really fucking tall. But like you go to Japan and you're like, it's like I'm not only tall, but I'm like I have like 8 times the muscle of like the biggest fucking Japanese bodybuilder, bro. Like I am an absolute like Goliath down here, bro.
How about how tall was everyone? Like 5'7", 5'8"?
I don't know. Let's actually look up what the average height in Japan is.
Because yeah, and I mean I do know that like my dad said he went to Japan and did a capsule and his feet were hanging out of it. And my dad's like about my height. So he's like, like 6 feet tall. So it's not like he's that tall. And even still, he was like, everything was just small. Mm-hmm.
Average human height by country.
Let's see. My guess is 5'8".
Nah, I guess it's like 5'5".
I'm going to guess 5'7". Yeah, okay. So it's 5'7.5". So we're both
5'7".
Right.
All right, I'll take that. Boom.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, you are like a giant.
Yeah, I was literally like, holy fuck, bro, this is epic. I am just absolutely crushing all of these people. And so everything was like built for that size, right? Like the trains, you're standing like and you have to like put your arms down to your side and like scrunch into this little thing. Like I would be sitting on the train seats and I'd be taking up like a seat and a half. Just like my shoulder girdle would be like spilling out over. So I was never sitting down because it was simply like impolite for me to do so. And then I went to Korea and everything was like, they were like normal sized over there. Kind of like, I guess, well, let's see. What's the, so I guess South Korea.
They're a little bit tall. I always noticed that.
Yeah, I guess they're only an inch taller, but they were like, they weren't like pygmy people, I guess.
Yeah, when you get to like 5'9", though, that's about like near the American average height anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Is it?
Yeah, but that other extra inch does make a difference.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, it would just be like the ceilings, like walking up the stairs of our shit. Like you had to like duck down because everything was just so low, or just bizarre things like the shelves. Like the shelves would just be like at this ridiculous like waist height.
I would hate that.
Yeah, like you're doing like a full like 90-degree bend over trying to like brush your teeth into the sink because the sink is only like two
bro.
Point like
I had that happen in my New York Airbnb. I had a sink that low. They were trying to be fucking modern and chic, and I'm like fucking like bent over and like going past 90 degrees to just fucking brush my teeth, just pissing me off. I hate that. I need like a big ass like imperial sink that's like
Those are
you
cool.
know, yeah, like it's big. I need something like hefty.
Oh yeah, big boy sink.
Big boy sink. I'm okay. I can do a smaller toilet. That's fine. I don't prefer it, but I can accept it. The sink though needs to be. I don't want to bend over, which I think is reasonable. The British got it right. Is that us? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He's
not go. He's just
start asking. We should start asking.
That's questions.
We're gonna start, launching a little bit of a side project that we've been working on here. Maybe a full-on project, I guess. But so the number one problem I think with a lot of supplements in the world is that you take them and nobody really fucking knows what's happening, right? Like you take zinc and nothing happens. It's not like you're like, oh yeah, I feel like fucking zinced up, bro. Like,
oh, I do, bro. When I take zinc, I legit feel like I'm
you're fucking killing my.
It's like I took a rhino pill, bro.
Are you serious right now?
I swear to God, I take zinc. I feel like I took like a gas station rhino pill. I'm like,
is this fucking real? I've never noticed anything from zinc at all. Like, I noticed like a weird bit of like relaxation from magnesium, and I noticed like a stimulatory effect from calcium. I've never fucking noticed anything from zinc. Are you fucking with me?
I'm so serious. I'm so serious. But also, I've naturally always had low zinc.
We're gonna do a delusion test here. Which one of us is delusional? Atavism is the tiebreaker.
No, I mean I've heard that reported. I have heard that reported that zinc is a test booster. So
I think I have naturally low zinc levels though. Okay, like I used to get the spots on my nails for low zinc, even when I eat meat and stuff like that.
But
so
I think it's a test booster. But like if you test boosters don't like if you take zinc. And then you feel jacked up immediately thereafter. Like that's not a result of your.
No, it's like 5 minutes. Right? It's like 5 minute delay.
Well, right, but like even if it's like your T levels increasing by like 50% or something is not going to make you feel like jacked up or anything like that, right?
I don't know. Did it make? I legit I can always tell when I took zinc. Always.
I believe that you could always tell, but I don't believe that it's a result of T level increase.
Oh, maybe not. I don't think it's like It's not like I'm like.
Because like you can give people like an injection of testosterone that like 10x's their natural levels, and they don't feel like instantaneously, like hormones don't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a direct response type hormone. There's a lot of other stuff that has to happen downstream before you start like feeling the effects of like high T.
Yeah,
I think that magnesium is bullshit, man. I don't think that it really calms you. Like how deficient do you have to be for it to have like a real effect on you?
I think that I did a number on my overall magnesium stores when I just like bombed stimulants for like the first 2 years of college. Okay. I don't know why that would still be like mattering like a decade later or whatever. Now that I'm like 46 years old, but like it seems, I don't know, maybe I just haven't like replenished it. I think a lot of this also has like a sort of like time-based uptick, like I don't think anorexic girls can like undo all of the like mineral depletion that they have accomplished over the last like 2 years of anorexia in just like 6 months of like eating right. Like I think it's unironically like a decade-long process of going and like, I don't think your body like slurps it all back up instantly.
So magnesium, I noticed the calming effects after a few days, not immediately. Like I noticed it more that I'm better rested than I am. Then it's like a calming immediate effect.
It was always something where like when I would be taking a bunch of stims and I would want to go to bed, there was like an escalation where it was like phase 1 would be like take magnesium. Phase 2, if I couldn't get to sleep after that, would be like valerian root. Phase 3 after that would be Xanax if I still couldn't get to bed.
What's valerian root?
Valerian root is this like Russian fucking supplement that's actually like it does some GABA shit. It's really really good for making you sleep, but I think it also like turbo nukes your T levels. Like it's like it's like a licorice level T level.
Oh,
like it's unironically like it'll
little lavender.
It'll twink your shit out, bro.
Dude, I had someone tell me that about chamomile tea. Someone was like, "Dude, be careful, man. Be careful with that chamomile tea."
I think a lot of this stuff that, flat out, basically every drug that you take does wind up like nuking your T levels. Honestly, like, like meth does it, heroin does it, cocaine does it, like amphetamines broadly do it, weed does it. Like just every single drug.
But you know what doesn't do it? The one drug they're trying to ban in New York City nicotine. That's why they don't want you to remove the mind parasites and increase your T level.
I don't necessarily know if nicotine necessarily. So there's a bunch of like testosterone and testosterone derivatives floating around through your bloodstream. I don't know if nicotine necessarily increases the overall androgens or if it just prevents the conversion of testosterone into DHT or some other thing like that.
I think it just prevents the conversion.
Yeah,
but it doesn't decrease it though, which is what the other ones do.
So like I don't think your total level of overall androgens winds up being higher, but like it doesn't appear to like totally fuck it up. Yeah.
No.
Which like literally every other thing does, it is kind of interesting.
This is why the Zoomers are gonna like conquer the world, man, because they're back on that nicotine. That's why the government's trying to stop them, bro.
The glycerin oil in those vapes, man, the elf bars, they know exactly.
Oh yeah, that's like smoking. That's like taking a fucking dab pen of soy. Estrogen.
You're literally vaping vegetable oil. Like
it's a poofa dab.
Like it's like something that like we would think of as like a meme, as like a like oh dude, like wouldn't it be so based and like contrarian if we like started like a like seed oil fan club and then we like vaped it, dude? Like wouldn't that be so funny as like a podcast bit, man? Like, but then it's like something that like Zoomers just like naturally created.
Yeah, I don't trust the vapes, but the Zyn pouches and the roll-up cigarettes. I mean, that's the millennials. The millennials love that.
You don't trust the Zins? You don't trust?
No. I take Zins and I do roll-up cigarettes, but that's like a millennial thing more than a Zoomer thing.
Good, man. I was about to go off on you.
No, Zyn are power. Like they literally got me off Adderall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like, I never thought that would happen. So we're so back.
Yeah. Zyn
really? Those two are comparable for you, Adderall and Zyn?
No, so like I take Adderall.
I'm fucking with you here too, because this was also how I wound up quitting meth. Was like I started vaping, yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, I think it was
Adderall. I took a low dose anday. So I take the high. I take the 6 Zins, and that's like
I didn't necessarily take a low dose of meth.
Not it could be higher, but not that low.
I don't know. A lot of it also was that I just kind of like got bored with the whole thing, and so it was like I don't know how much of it was actually attributable.
This motherfucker is the only person on the planet who's like, I got bored of meth. I got bored of.
I think every drug sort of has like the boredom curve, right? Where like with meth, it was like there's only so many different types of ways that you can do meth, right? Like you can like fucking you can eat it, you can snort it, you can inject it, and then like at some point like you've done the responsible uses of it, you've used it for homework, you've had like your benders, and then it's like, okay, like
Lukas is like, I'm done staying up for 3 days with my blacked out curtains. It's time to
it is like I had my like final bender there, and then I was like, we did it, we got the experience, we know what it's like. It wasn't like it wasn't like I was doing it like, oh God, like this is so awesome, like I've got to keep doing it because this is so fun. Like realistically, it was like a weird unfunctional behavior, right? Like it's actually there was obviously like there was a level where with the stuff I was doing in school where like taking like a small like 5 to 10 milligram dose orally was like good for studying, right? Like amphetamines, people take Adderall. It's the same shit, except it's like 30% shinier when you're eating it, and then but when you inject it, it's just fucking unfunctional, man. Like it's you get like the rush and it feels really good, and then it's all downhill from there, right?
We start digging a hole.
Yeah,
you like start just fucking digging for 6 hours.
And then you're awake for like a fucking day, guaranteed. Like, and there's no situation where you can just be awake and it's like not inconvenient, right? Like I made it work because I was like a freshman in college or something, and so like I would just do it on like every Friday. I was just it's time to shoot meth, and then I would go and I would go out and like before my Women's Studies 101 class at like 3 p.m. I would just like bang like a fucking shot in the bathroom and come in. And we had all these presentations in that class.
Yeah, dude, I'm just so funny, dude.
And we had this goofy ass professor. He was like some like 5'6" male feminist with like long braided pigtails. And I would come in. I think I was like 250 pounds at the time. I would come in like fucking like tweaking out of my ass to give like. And they would give us these like really ridiculous time frames for the presentations, right? Like they would be like oh, you need to give a 20-minute presentation on this subject, right? And everyone else would give like a 3-minute presentation, and I would be like, I was assigned a 20-minute presentation, and I'm going to keep going for 20 minutes. Like,
That's so fucking funny.
so I was like the only fucking guy in the class. It was all of these like hipster looking like libtard girls, and I would just be standing up there like gesticulating wildly, like completely red, like. And then I would finish up with that. I would go out. I would just, go out, start drinking, party, hang out the whole night, and then come back at like 6 a.m, like study for a while, and then just like sleep all the way through Sunday.
That's so funny. That could be worse. It can be a lot worse.
It was super funny, dude. Like the whole thing in retrospect was like, it was super funny that I like. And the other thing is nobody like knew, right? Like none of my friends were like, oh, like Lukas uses this. Like I was like sneaky with it.
Well, you have like a naturally intense personality.
Right.
So...
I know, that's the thing is like the difference between like Lukas on meth and Lukas sober is so marginal that like you would have to be extremely well calibrated to like pick up on it.
Yeah.
Like people always in Twitter spaces or like on the podcast or something, like, dude, like how many stimulants? And it's like, I haven't taken stimulants in like 9 years. Like,
yeah, no, me having met you, when you were like, oh, I actually used to do meth, I was like, oh yeah, that tracks. That does track. It does seem like you would.
It just like, it totally blended in with my personality. And then like, it was literally just like that one thing a week. And then, when I graduated my sophomore year, I had this period where like my internship didn't start for like 3 weeks, and I was like, well, like we've never like done a bender,
bro.
What
What
if we did a bender? And it was like this calculated bender that I went on, and then that was when I was like, okay, we had our like weird bender experience. We're good now.
I just had the best idea for merch. Like do like it's almost Friday. You can really feel the pull of the weekend. It's just like some guy injecting meth on the shirt.
He's pulling the belt. He's pulling.
I can really feel the register of the fucking insulin syringe. Yeah,
bro, that merch will go crazy. You can hit us up in the comments if you want that shirt.
Yeah, for real.
I'll get Griff Shop to help us make it. That's so fucking funny.
There was dude, IV meth also like perma-fucks your brain in the sense that like, you're just not supposed to, IV drugs overall, you're just not supposed to have that much like, I don't know if it's dopamine or like serotonin, whatever the fuck it is. There's too much like pleasure neurotransmitter that gets released when you IV that shit. And it like permanently like recalibrates your baseline to everything to the extent that like, I'm like goofy with needles, right? Like if somebody else tries to draw my blood or they give me a shot, like I literally like pass out. For some reason, veins are like the one thing. And if I do it, like, I'm totally fine. Yeah. But if somebody shows me a video of somebody like with a needle in their vein and they're pulling back and like, so you pull back to like register to make sure you're actually in the vein, right? So you have the meth in the needle, you stick it in your arm and then you pull back so that you want to see, right? You want to see blood flow into the syringe because otherwise you're just like sticking it in your arm somewhere, right? And then when you shoot it, you're now going to be shooting this really toxic.
Yeah,
chemical.
you make a fucking embolism and you kill yourself.
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, usually it doesn't get like infected and fuck you up or anything, but it's just like an overall like unpleasant experience, one might say. So you want to avoid that. And so if I see a video of somebody doing that and pulling back and registering blood, like it literally gives me like tingles and I start seeing like the Molly dots and shit. Like my brain
funny.
like remembers that and has like a weird, like almost like horny response to it.
That makes sense. You still like condition yourself with like hyper stimulus.
Yeah. Like you literally like break your brain.
Yeah, that's funny. I can be pincushioned. I mean, I don't have I never did IV drugs, but you were talking about how like you find it weird when you take shots or whatever. I'm like, you can pincushion me all day.
No,
I always kind of liked it.
I fucking hate it.
I always kind of liked it.
Doing it yourself too is like, so like your body has a very convoluted network of nerve. Obviously it's different than everyone else's. If you like give yourself a shot or like you poke your vein, there's always like, you can kind of feel around and like move it like a millimeter left or right or something like that. There's always some place you can find where like you can't feel it at all. Like it will be totally painless. Whereas So that was always like my bitch way of getting
It's
around.
like I can touch my eye, but you can't touch my eye.
Yeah, because like I can find the places where it's like totally fine. And like obviously no nurse can do that because they can't like, you know, they can't feel what I feel. The other thing is I was using like a fucking like 25 or like 29 or like 31 gauge insulin pin. And these nurses would be fucking using like 14
16
gauge like horse syringes and sticking this shit in. Like, so I have like really, really visible veins, right? So nurses love doing this thing where they go, "Oh, your veins are so great. I don't even need a tourniquet." And then my veins are very big, so they fucking roll hard. So then they like don't put the tourniquet in, and then they like fucking slice my shit up, dude. They
damn.
they like blow all my shit up. I actually have a vein that got like totally collapsed by a nurse like missing like 6 times, and I was just like dripping and squirting blood everywhere, just like horrified too. I'm like holding on to consciousness for dear life too, because I'm like, you know, like I forget what the response is, but when you get really like the reason that you pass out when people give you shots and stuff like that when you're scared is like all of your blood vessels vasodilate really quickly, and so your blood pressure drops to like a level where you can't like sustain consciousness. It's like when you stand up too fast and like you black out, except like you actually black out.
Oh, interesting.
Not fun though.
You know, it doesn't sound fun.
But yeah,
I
so
almost
we
out
got on
giving
this
blood.
because we were talking about zinc and shit, right?
Yeah, where you guys transition into the supplements.
Yeah. So the zinc shit, all of this stuff, like I do not feel that great when, and that's not saying I feel bad, but I just don't feel anything when I take zinc. The supplements that we do like, though, are the ones that they fucking, you can tell, bro. They're the gas station rhino dick pills. Like, you take this shit and you are instantly like, you're fucked up, man. Like, you know that like yohimbine HCl shit? Where it's like, oh, you don't know about yohimbine?
No, I didn't know. I've never heard of this one ever.
Oh yeah, dude. This shit will kill you, bro. It's like one of the few over the counter supplements. It's like a stimulant thing that like
go straight to your dick. I see.
It actually will kill you.
Oh, it fucking causes priapism, where like you can't get the blood out of your dick.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what it says here. It goes, it increases the amount of blood. This is like the main purpose. It's not like the side effect. It says increases the amount of blood that is allowed to flow into the penis to prevent blood from flowing out of the penis. Can cause an erection.
Way,
that is the main use.
I thought it was a fat burner. Am I thinking of something else? Like I heard alpha yohimbine, which is something else. Is that the problem?
This is just yohimbine, like straight up. But usually all these are like vasodilators or whatever the fuck. I mean, I guess this must be different, but that's so funny. I'll keep that in mind if I ever get back to
natural.
If we get things get it's a herbal. It's a West African herbal supplement.
Yeah, no, it's literally like an African gorilla dick pill.
Yeah.
So like, this is the shit that we like, bro. Because like you want to take supplements and you want to feel that shit hitting, right? I don't want to pay $80 for some supplement BS, and I take it and I'm like, what's going on? Like, did this even work? Like, I don't want to have to go take a blood mineral panel to tell if my supplements are hitting. I want everything to start shaking.
Yeah, dude. The fucking African supplements, I feel like there's something out there in Africa, bro. Because the shit there, they have like caustic supplements. Like even like the native hallucinogen to Africa is like caustic. Like what's that one? I can't remember what it's called. Ibogaine. Like it's so strong and it makes people like stop using drugs. Period. Which is why it's kind of yeah. People use it as therapy because like basically everyone who takes it like they like go sober afterwards.
Damn.
It's so like shocking.
It's like they the way that they describe it, it's like the way that like ayahuasca is like kind of like you're kind of like fading into like the mother nature type of thing. They're like, this is like a stern talking to from like a strict father. It's like very like
this is like if your dad finally came home and he just starts beating your ass and calling you a bitch.
That's how everyone describes it. It's like some extent of that. So there's like everyone just like goes. They use it as like a sobriety treatment because like that's like like everyone has the same response. They're like, all right, I'm done. No more drugs.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they have some other shit, dude. Clearly, got the yohimbine, they got the fucking ibogaine. I don't know. Africa's on different shit out there, I guess.
We gotta get fentanyl bra in here sometime to discuss.
Oh yeah, he would tell
Fentanyl, bro. Wait.
No blow dart. Yeah, he would tell.
Oh, blow dart. Okay, yeah.
He's got a lot to say. Yeah.
He loves all of the supplement looks maxing health stuff. He knows he's read so much on if you want to regrow your hair, if you want to like grow your dick wider but not longer, like specifically like he knows the other drug to do the reverse, right? If you want to make it long and skinny, like all of this shit.
Dude, we got to get him on here. This is deep alpha, man.
Yeah.
There's got to be a market for a hair growth coach. Or somebody that we can prescribe a protocol.
Do you remember Perseus? Perseus was this guy who would sell height coaching regimens on Twitter. Where he would
we have a mutual who bought one. Yeah, but
is he still around?
The guy that bought it?
I thought
not Perseus. Perseus is not around, but no, I know somebody who bought it, and it's literally just like take growth hormone, take the MK677. Like
he just tells people to take a bunch of like expensive drugs to get taller, and then like it doesn't work.
Yeah,
that is really funny. Hey, listen, everyone's got a grift. I need to get on that. We keep fucking up and fumbling the grift bag.
We really do fuck up and fumble the grift bag, but we don't fumble the fun bag, and I think that's what really matters.
We have peak fun, I will say that.
Yeah, everybody is like, "Wow, you homeless fags are having a lot of fun, man."
This is why I know that a live recording would go crazy, dude. People would love to hang out with us for a live show.
Hang out with us, as in they would love to listen to us monologue. They would.
We could get like audience participation if we're doing a live show.
That'd be so funny. Bring up the have it be like a live Twitter Spaces thing. Where the awkward thing with that though is they come up and it's like, what if they suck? You know, what if they?
How do we kick them off? It's our show.
How do we shoo them off, bro? I don't want to. I'm not confrontational.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you got to.
I'll have a great time.
Tell them they suck, bro.
They're like, nah, you're doing too much. You got to sit down. I used to be a teacher. I love telling people no. Being on stage and telling people no was my job. No, sit down. I don't care. We're going to do math.
Math?
I was a math teacher. Teacher.
No, never mind.
Oh, I said math. Yeah.
I was making a little
racist joke. Math. Because I thought I said math, which I used to, so I could have said math.
We just have to obnoxiousness peak here. I'm sorry.
I get it. No, listen, we haven't done this in a while. The fucking I can feel all the tweakers, bro. You know how many? Do you get the ads too? Like whenever we don't put up the episode in time. My fucking notifications are filled with the people like cranked out. Like, where's my raccoon fix?
No, dude. I don't think anyone knows that I have anything to do with the podcast.
Bro, I get it all the time, dude.
They all go to you. They all go to you because I never promote it, and they think that I'm just like some wandering homeless guy who like stumbles into your basement every like week, and like we record it and then cut it up, and then I go away, and you do all of the like distribution and all of this stuff. I think I think I'm like literally some sort of like wandering like not like a sage figure, but like.
You're like a vagrant. You're like
who are those like drunk Greek guys that would just like walk around saying like mostly nonsense, but like something profound? One out of 100 things.
Sophists.
Oh, the sophist. I am definitely a sophist. Right? Like, the sophists were the guys who just like intentionally like misused rhetorical devices to make like bad faith arguments, right? Like that's unironically me.
Hell yeah. My parents lied to me about my dog. They told me my dog ran away, and it turned out my stepfather sold it to one of our neighbors because we were moving soon. But they hadn't told me we were moving to North Carolina yet. But I saw my dog like on like down the street at the store. So he didn't sell it to like someone far away. He sold it to
your next door neighbor,
like a block away. So I just saw and my dog like recognized me, and I was like, "That's my fucking dog." We had like a very unique Bichon that's like taller than all the other ones. So it's like clearly that's my dog, and like my dog is like coming up to me like, "Hey," I'm like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, but they dropped the bomb that we're moving away from New York a little bit after that, so I guess it made sense.
It's funny they sold it,
but I never got over. Yeah, they sold it. I was like, "You fucking dickhead, bro."
They have like market value. Like, what does a dog go for?
I don't. It's in New York, so everyone's a fucking degenerate. So they're just like, "Yeah, I'll take your dog." Like it was just stupidity.
In Japan and actually Korea too, every dog was like 5 pounds. Like they exclusively had like midget dogs.
I hate that.
It was so awful, man.
I like a bigger dog. I want a dog to be like, like properly bigger than a cat, fox to like hound range is
yeah. Like I mean, dogs are supposed to be big, right? That's the whole. I honestly, I'm starting to just become like overall like a cat guy, right? Like I used to be like, no, like I would prefer a dog. I just have a cat because it's like more convenient and shit like that. And actually now I'm just like fully cat pilled. I'm pretty sure that just having like a cat is just better.
After your cat got sliced your eye open, and then my girlfriend tells me how her friend's cat like permanently blinded her boyfriend from slicing his eye. I'm like, I don't fucking want cats ever again. You've permanently dissuaded me away from them.
It's just like women though, right? Like it's
they just blind you sometimes.
Unironically, this is something that like I tweeted this out as a joke. I said something like dog owners are all like fucking like rapists or something like that because they just wanted an animal that would go along with and agree with everything and accept everything that you do to them, right? You can pet them whenever, you can feed them whenever, you can hug and play with them whenever. They don't care. They just accept it all. They have no boundaries. And with cats, you have to like be mindful of their mood, right? You can't like It's literally like a girl. You can't just.
I mean, that's what my girlfriend said too.
Go up at any time and like fucking like ruffle their hair and shit like that.
My girlfriend told me that I don't want cats because I'm gay and I'm afraid of women. I was like, oh, okay, well.
I guess that's one take. I don't know. I think literally like dogs are like low EQ.
Yeah, they're really easy. Like it's hard to like not do well with dogs. Like,
yeah, like I mean they're fine and stuff, but it's just like it's. You know, it's not as rewarding if you can make something love you if it just loves everything unconditionally for no reason, right? Whereas if it's sort of like a tricky puzzle to get this thing to like you, then it's more interesting. Like the fact that I have trained my cat to come now is like much more satisfying than if I had trained a dog to do this.
Well, what does this mean about your relationship with love? Do you feel like you have to earn love? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't love just be, abundant?
No, because if love is abundant, then it goes to everyone.
I see. So you want, it's like exclusivity. It has to be earned, so it could be.
Yeah, I want things to love me and like ignore other things or hate them even. You know, do you want your girlfriend to love you and also all of your friends, or do you want her to love just you?
No, just me. But then the thing is, I don't need my pet to also be as difficult as a girlfriend. You know,
I do.
Like I'm using all that effort and my emotional whatever for her, and now so my animal is like, yo, come, what's up, boy, and we just chill.
I literally want to stunt on everyone that I have over to my house, man. I want to have them come over and be like, oh, you have such a cute cat. Can I pet him? And I'll be like, sure. And I'll like be smirking, and they like try and get the cat, and my cat just like runs away and like hisses at them and then comes over to me and is all like nice and cuddly and playful and rolls on his back. And then they come over and my cat like arches his back and like hisses and runs. Like that's what it should be, right? My cat should be
my cat.
Yeah. Fuck you. Okay. You can't pet him. But actually, I've actually trained my cat to be really good with like, and I only have one cat now, by the way. I'm no longer some sort of like sickening cat herder guy. I have one cat. I sold off the baby kitten. I gave away Snowball, the white one. And now we just have Camino, the black Jaguar thing.
You've been
open my doors, dude. He can open my fridge, so I can't keep meat in there. I had to get little sticky locks to keep on my fridge to prevent him from getting in there.
That's wild.
He knows how to open my sliding back door.
You're the most feral cat of all time. I'm impressed.
He's like, he actually, I think, has like some sort of like cat autism or mental disability, because he was raised by dogs, so he like behaviorally doesn't understand like how to act like a cat. He like tries barking and like does hissing, and like he plays tug of war and all this other weird shit. But like,
that's really strange.
He's fucking huge, and the fact like my sliding glass door, it's like heavy, man. Like, and if it's not locked, he just fucking rips that shit open. And if it is locked, then he thinks it's not locked, and he still tries, and he scratches the piss out of it.
That's so strange. And also, I saw that picture of your cat just like tearing up birds, I guess, instead of eating food.
Dude. Yeah. So when I left for, this is a fun one too. So I left for Tokyo, and the whole Tokyo thing was very like, I knew I was going to Korea for something, because there was something that I like absolutely 100% could not miss going on in Korea. And then I realized like, wait, like if I'm already going to be dropping the money for the plane tickets to go to Korea, and like I don't have any sort of like workplace obligations, like why would I not also go? You know, why would we not spend some other time in Japan if we have Tokyo ETH conference going on. We've got RemiCon going on, all this stuff. So I got the ticket like the day before to go to Japan. And I was like, wait, like, how do I take care of my cat? And what I settled on was leaving like a 40-pound bag of food in my garage, taking out one of the ground level windows so that the cat could come in and out of the window in my garage. And I opened the door from my garage to my house so that he could come in and like sleep on my bed and hide and shit like that if he wanted to. And then I turned my hose on in my garage. So it was constantly pooling water into this big bucket. And so I left him like that with my door open and shit. And I come back and there's just feathers over everything. Like every part of my house is covered with feathers. And I went and I looked at the food that he totally ignored all of the food. All of his eating, I think, came from killing every robin in my entire neighborhood. It was like, there's literally just like, and there's actually one right now. I'm seeing it in my basement right now. I hadn't seen it before. There's a robin like skeleton thing, or like a, I don't know.
That's
like a wing or something hiding under my weight bench. I just hadn't seen it.
That's so ridiculous.
Before. But I found like 5 of the robin bodies just like lying around when I first came home. I'm sure there were more. There's so many fucking feathers, man. It was like, it's all up and down the stairs. It's on the carpet. Like my bed was covered in feathers. I was just like, how did you even do this? Like how, because it would be like, if he was going around like intentionally ripping feathers out and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, well, cats are like psychotic like that. They just fucking
it was very clearly like fucking with the robins.
Okay, so we have this. We have 9 minutes apparently because I guess in our last month while we've been gone, they've added a premium feature similar to what Zoom used to do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cringe. I mean, we can start another recording too, but
that is so fucking funny. So like every platform we have is just going to force us. This is also really funny.
I deleted the Zoom one, so we could actually buy this with our Patreon.
No, dude,
money.
Zoom sucked ass. That whatever that audio setting that we had before, that was like literally unlistenable. Like when I was editing that shit, I wanted to fucking kill myself, man. That sucked so bad.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna when you withdraw to the bank account, just link this shit up and just upgrade this account.
Well, like, do we really need to upgrade this? Like, are we actually going to be severely handicapped by a 2-hour?
Well, we always do we do it, like we often do 3 and some hour recordings. I mean, we could just do it. We could just stop it at 2 and then make a new one.
Yeah, I feel like 2 hours is like a pretty good like jump off point to start.
Yeah,
like,
that's fine.
And jump off and like start a new one and just have like a break between this stuff. I don't know. But
yeah, I'm down with it.
I also like that someone in our audience said like the thing that I like about their podcast is that it's not like they're like podcasting. It's like they're talking about their plans to in the future make podcasts. I was like, I don't know who said that.
I was say that too, man, because it's like I don't know what fraction I could design it, but it's a podcast that's largely about podcasting. And
there's very meta, yeah.
I was wondering if we were getting negged there or not.
No, it's true though. We talk about like what we're going to try to do most of the time. Like, I think this is what we should do next. I don't really know.
The guide to podcast.
But that's like, hey, if anything, that like is an insight into the creative process in general. Here we are building a podcast of some not any notoriety, but a little bit more than 0, and all that we've done so far has been talking about how do we do this.
Yeah, I think also it's really funny that we'll have like that's like the specific point where we lose like every single female listener, right? Like they all are just like, as soon as we start talking about like podcasting or like the technicals of equipment setup, they're just like, fuck you, dude. And then just like turn it off.
Yeah. Only people who listen are our girlfriends to find things to be mad at us about.
My girlfriend does not listen to my podcast.
Oh, she doesn't? That was a joke at my girlfriend who's absolutely listening.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
It's like in the same way that like if any of my good friends started a podcast, I also like wouldn't listen to it just because like I can talk to them, you know?
Oh yeah, I never listen to my friends' podcasts, even if I'm on it. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I would just, I mean, maybe if they did some sort of like really informational thing, but like, especially with our podcast where it's like, you know, there's no, like, I'm not teaching you how to like subsidize, like some sort of loan or something like that. Or like,
I don't know, bro. People were saying our shit is informative. We're like the older brother podcast for all the Zoomers who don't know shit about life.
Hey, man.
They're like, oh,
watch it, man.
They're like, oh, this is how you enroll in health insurance? Okay.
Oh, fuck. That is so true, actually. And now,
Yeah, I'd say I learned a little bit from this podcast. I learned a good bit. Yeah.
The health insurance stuff, actually, I'm realizing is like, God, dude, it's so fucking over. Like, I was looking at the health insurance costs in like America versus everywhere else, and it's just like more and more. It seems like it doesn't make financial sense to do anything other than like move to some other part of the world where you live and eat healthy food and have like literally zero living expenses, and then like work a remote like crypto job in America, because you unironically like can live like a king off of like 10K a year or some stupid shit like that in like Japan or something.
Bro, I got fucking pilled by a hentai Avenger. He was just like, bro, like, you don't understand. Just move to like Asia and do your same job, because I like, he's like, I've been there for 2 months. He's like, I don't want to go ever leave. He's like, you eat real food. It's beautiful. You live like a king.
Yeah. Like they've got this weird, bizarre, like mountain thing going on down there where it's like, so most of the mountains here are kind of like rocky and dry and shit, but they've got these like lush, wet, beautiful green mountains everywhere. They have, obviously, like the food is just like, yeah, it's like absurdly good. I couldn't find gyms though. That was the one thing. I'm sure they exist. Yes. I'm sure they have to, but like, I couldn't find them. I couldn't find gyms that would let me in for a day pass. They would be like, oh, well, we'll let you in if you review our equipment standards for 3 hours. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, you need to take a 3-hour training course to like, and I was like, I'm trying to get a 45-minute lift in, dude. I'm not, like I'm not going to use an entire fucking day watching like a video some Japanese twinks made about like how to lift weights, dude. I promise you, I don't need this, right? But it's just like they never abandon the tradition or the rules or the regulations, right? So it doesn't matter how stupid it is, they always will do it. Right. Like I was trying to get them to sell me contacts, and it was like, okay, so this is my prescription. Can I buy these contacts? Like, you have them here. I see them. They're in your stock. And they were like, well, do you have a doctor's notice with your prescription? And I was like, no, but this is my prescription. And they were like, well, like, we can't sell them to you because and it's like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Is it like if I get a prescription that's too high, like am I gonna get like fucked up? Like I'm gonna like overdose on like contact diopter like overinflation? Like it doesn't make any sense.
They're not draconian, but just like you get like legalism. It's like Pharisaic. Like just like follow every rule to the fucking.
I felt this was what started kind of wearing on me in the end is like in America, I can kind of do whatever I want, right? Like literally any situation. I don't do like a bunch of like super egregious shit, right? Like I'm not going around being like an obnoxious guy with like playing music in public and just generally like doing a bunch of drugs and all of this shit. I'm a very like relatively laid back citizen. The most obnoxious thing I do is walk around with a GoPro, like fucking podcasting in public to everyone, which to be fair is quite obnoxious, but it's not like illegal in any capacity. And in Japan, like there's just all this shit where you just can't talk your way into it. Right. And it partially, maybe it's like a language barrier thing. And if I like was really fluent in Japanese, this wouldn't be an issue at all. But it was certainly something where like I felt like I had my wings clipped a little bit. Because my one big fallback for everything is like I'm a good enough talker that like if you put me into the situation and tell me what I need to do, like I can accomplish the goal by like
Rizonomics.
Yeah. And then you just have that totally taken away, and suddenly like the world is unironically like scary now, right?
You
like
found out what it's like to be a fucking incel.
Yeah,
for real.
No, and that's why the jail thing scared me, because I realized like it's like fuck, like if I go to jail in America, like I know how to get out of it, right? Like it just doesn't matter. It's a non-issue. Like I can either pay or talk my way out of it. I have enough legal connect. Like it's just not an issue. And then you go somewhere else, and it's like holy fuck, bro, like. I could actually have to just be locked in a box for 3 years. This is fucked up. I could actually have to face the consequences for my actions.
Fuck that, dude.
Fucked.
That's so cringe. That's not American. This is why we say that is the one perk about America. Shout out to I guess all of Western Hemisphere does this. We could just either pay off the cops, well, not the cops, but like pay off either the prison system.
Dude, the concept of cash bail is so hilarious.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, in America, you can pay cash bail, so which we have like a formalized like bribery system in that. And then if you don't want to do the formalized bribery, you can just bribe off the cops, right? You know, like if you're getting busted for some real retard shit and you say like, listen, man, here's 10K.
Oh, fuck, our shit ended.
There's like a 75% chance you're fine, man.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to stop us right now. So I might as well stop.
Of course. They're going to be like, well.
They're going to.
When he gets older, he won't sound like this anymore, right?